Do Fnatic run much Alk nowadays?
They can. They're not a team who refuses to play it for sure.
They were banning it versus Alliance, I believe.
They played it a lot when like Abed was on the team, so I don't know if it's still the case these days as much. But yeah, very interesting look from Spirit. Yeah, they played the Pango yesterday, but I don't know if it would have been a first two pick there.
It was their last pick in that draft.
Yeah.
They just first two picked two completely out of meta heroes. I think that's what's weird about these heroes. Like I like the idea you stick to your guns, you play your comfort zone, your comfort picks, but it still feels like you have a few of those, and then you get a few meta picks in there as well.
In the draft where they ran it, they had a mag, so obviously helps any melee core. I believe he was off lane, it looks like.
Yeah,
and you were versus a Huskar, so the disarm's really potent in that matchup. Whereas first picking it, you just believe in the hero. So we'll see how it works out.
And speaking of comfort, DJ Shadow Shaman, he is probably the most iconic Shadow Shaman player in the Dota scene. He loves this hero and is very good on it. Not a flashy hero per se, but he just gets a lot done. He's a nuisance.
Yeah, I think he kind of set the benchmark for whenever Aetherland's Shadow Shaman first started to enter the meta, because he was getting it so fast. Because DJ is a very greedy player just inherently, and he showed the potential of getting early Aetherlands, just shackling from like 20 miles away. Has a lot of crowd control capability.
Yeah, very strong offensive support. Like if you're with, say, a Baden or Gyro and you're winning the lane, like the right clicks are insane from that hero.
But if you're playing from behind, this hero feels very lackluster, and all you can kind of do is some split push.
Yeah. Which DJ is a specialist at. We saw on the ledge. There's a lot of tree shenanigans going on. But
he's very greedy. He's often playing. He gets a lane to himself. Like Ice will eventually try and play with the team or play in the jungle, while DJ kind of suicide pushes lanes and gets a ton of farm as a result.
So Spirit go Luna. We saw the few Luna picks, I think, from the CIS teams at the Summit, right? And there was the no Lucent being built, or
one or two. You get like one or 2
point
points
in it.
for the lane, and then you want to max your passive and your bouncing glaives for the farming.
Are we going to see that this time around versus a Wyvern?
I would guess so. I think it's just seems like the way these teams feel Luna is viable. If you're maxing Lucent Beam and getting Eclipse, you're basically you need to be fighting and using Eclipse. And
you're like a poor man's Gyrocopter at that point.
It's a 2-minute plus cooldown, so you're actually unable to fight that often. Once every like 140 seconds, I think it is. Level 1, and then when you go back to farm while it's on cooldown, you farm way slower because the bouncing glaives, the way it scales, it hits this huge spike at level 4.
Because it keeps bouncing back and forth. So it used to be whenever Luna, like you'd get the bounces and then they wouldn't repeat units.
Yeah.
And then there was buff to repeat back over and over
again.
If
but also
that
fourth skill point gives you like
an
extra like 3 or 4
like,
bounce. It's the weirdest scaling spell in Dota, I feel, because it goes from like 3, 4, 5 to like 8 or something.
Yeah.
Whereas most spells it's like 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's one of those things you really want to get that 4th point as early as possible. And if you max Lucent Beam, you're getting that 4th point pretty damn late.
All right, Invoker ban here. Spirit, I guess not necessarily having their... Well, it's hard to say, really. Like, Pango and Tiny can both be supports. They ran the Pango as the off-lane bench support, I guess.
Yeah.
Most likely nowadays. The Tiny probably your 4-position roamer, so they probably need a mid. But Invoker can also be a support.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of
ban.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I mean, 4-position Luna, I think, has a lot of potential. Only Secret has the balls to run it at like a DPC event with Yapzor, but the hero has a great deal of potential. Do it in your pubs. 4-position Luna.
Make your team happy.
It'll get you some reports, unfortunately. I saw...
not playing their role.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they change the report thing? You can't report people for that like before the game starts or something like that?
Then what's the point of role queue?
Well, I think after the game, I don't know if they did it, but really you should only be able to report for not playing your role once the game ends. You know, once
instant.
Yeah, the thing is, but when people lose, they're gonna be like, "Well, our 5-position pick Pudge. I'm gonna report for not playing his role."
But a lot of people will do that at the beginning of the game when they see the Pudge. They're like, "Dude, this guy's not gonna win us the game," and then you win, and then you're like, "Well, don't I feel stupid?"
But it's like also if you lose, he may have been trying to play a legit 5-position Pudge or a legit 4-position Luna, and you're like, suddenly you're in offlane, you're like, "Man, I got stuck with this useless Luna. I'm gonna report him for not playing his role because he picked Luna." It's like, Dota's give it a shot. Dota's this game where so many different heroes can do different things.
All right, so they were looking for a 5 here. They're going to grab the Lich.
So, what?
Probably 4 Tiny. Is it a Pango mid or Tiny mid? Who are you laning against here? I guess we'll have to see what Fnatic's last pick is going to be.
I guess if it's a melee, then you send Pango mid?
Spirit have a very odd draft because a lot of these heroes can play
a lot of
multiple
roles.
different roles.
Yeah.
Like Tiny can be a 2. He can be an offlaner, though it's not very common.
Yeah.
The 4 is most common. Pango can play, potentially any of the lanes.
I would venture to say Ench is going to be the 3 position and Pango is going to be the mid. I feel like Ench as a hero still shines mostly as a core rather than the support Ench.
Yeah.
Pango is a really weak laner in most situations.
Though,
that hero, it needs levels. That's the one good thing about going mid. But he's got pretty bad base damage. He doesn't have the best farming skills early on until you get like your first javelin and ideally, Maelstrom or just more damage. And he's honestly like very squishy. So it's hard to trade. I play a lot of Pango. Yes, so I know the horrors of Pango's early lanes.
Trying to escape the lanes that's pretty much why the hero sad to fall off is people just start abusing it in this lane.
But if you can get past the lanes, he's amazing.
Yeah, especially in a team fight oriented lineup like Spirit, being able to get like 1 shield crash on 3 heroes, because it doesn't seem like Spirit have a particularly tanky team on paper, but once Pango gets that shield crash damage reduction, he becomes deceptively difficult to kill.
The Wyvern ult, does that break the Pango ult?
He spins
I believe it
in
does,
place.
right?
Yeah, so that will...
Could be a good tool to deal with.
Yeah,
him,
that's
for
the
sure.
only BKB piercing. Yeah, so that'll
That
work.
is not a good match.
Casual 10-pick Kunkka.
I think you go Tiny mid here.
What are they going to do? So
Yeah, they're gonna go Tiny mid. Urgon's the mid.
Tiny mid, off lane, Pango. There we go. So Gossick, the 4 position now, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, I guess I just know him from the past. He was almost exclusively offlane player. One of the really promising looking ones in CIS.
So we got a Pango Ench off
Wait.
lane, likely.
Yeah.
Or is Gossick the 4 or the 5? Okay.
I had this.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a Lich. Come on, Lich is
Yeah.
5. What are we talking about?
But I want to see if they have like because these days I don't really see 4s and 5s switch as much as I feel like I used to like a year or 2 ago when 4 or 5s like used to have a lot of hero not overlap, and so it's like, oh, I'm better
Gostick
at playing
is the
this and this.
4, it looks like.
Okay.
He played their mag
Okay.
support before.
Yeah. Particularly with I think Earth Spirit was one of the big ones where some teams had their 5 position player play it, and some had their 4, and some had their 4 play it, but the hero was played more as a 5 in terms of farm priority. Like I really think it was like I'd see the old OG with Jerix and Fly. Like Fly would suddenly have a ton of farm as a 5 when Jerix was on Earth Spirit because he's just ganking while Fly is pushing a lane.
Yeah, or like the Tusks that we used to see a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Overall thoughts on the draft, gentlemen?
Well, Fnatic's are significantly more meta picks, whereas Spirit are just kind of being like, I like these heroes. I really like Lich. I think he's a great hero. I don't know how great he is in this game. He's not going to have too much physical damage to reduce with his Frost Shield.
So favoring Fnatic then?
Yeah, I'm
overall?
favoring Fnatic.
Yeah, their lanes look pretty spooky too. Abaddon Shadow Shaman I think is a very scary lane. Shaman's going to have this fast boots with the Abaddon Curse of Avernus hitting. Like that's just very difficult to lane against, and Luna's not like a proper fully ranged hero, so.
All right. Well, I like Spirit's draft. I want it to work, but I have to say I think Fnatic's looks way easier to execute, a lot more stable. Tons of AoE, tons of push, good late game, strong lanes. We'll see if Spirit can surprise us, though. So they're going to be sending the Ench Pango dual lane down bottom. We are going to see the Luna Lich up top. I imagine matching up against the DJ Shaman and the Ice Abaddon. Or maybe Japs will rotate over. But this is a pretty scary lane for a Luna to deal with.
Yeah, this is...
And a Lich is not the kind of hero that can help early on.
For me, it's reminiscent of that Vici Gaming draft against Alliance, where it was against the Drow Ranger. Yeah, and the Drow just got ran over. Luna's a similar hero in that she's quite weak in the laning stage.
Shadow Shaman has 74 base damage with 0 items. Like this hero with the Abaddon Curse is just gonna slay.
And he does this so we can get the extra regen while having boots. Because normally if you get boots, you only get 1 set of tangos, but he's going to get bounty runes, get some extra gold, boots, and 6 tangos for the lane.
Yeah, generally, you're not going to have a great way to deal with the shackles either with the boots, so could lead to an early first blood for Fnatic. fact, Jabs is also going to join them potentially, so we may see a full-on try lane. No, we'll see a TP down.
Yeah, I think he was just ensuring that the bounty runes can be secured so that Shaman does indeed complete his boots, and the abuse will start very, very soon.
The abuse.
The abuse. It's relentless.
Not family friendly, this one.
Shaman has like one of the... I think Shaman has the dumbest looking attack projectile in Dota. It's like, it looks like it's still an alpha. You see Luna's as like an entire model, and DJ's is like, this is a placeholder right here.
Still in beta.
If he ever attacks anything, at least, yeah, look at that.
Gets the shield, and he's just going to be up in their face, already trading blows and having a merry old time.
Yeah, the one downside is he doesn't have the best range, so ideally you want to bat and running in first, then you follow up, but already laying the pain on ILTW. Our mid lane, Kunkka versus Tiny. Two very popular mids at TI, and Tiny a little bit less so nowadays. Tend to see him more in that roaming role. But obviously the Thompson special.
Yep. Yeah, the tree volley getting nerfed significantly is really what took him out of the mid lane, you know, running. But the hero is still very strong with form.
Yeah, he's having a good time so far against Moon in this mid lane.
And getting some good harass here on Urgon. Overall, looks like the Radiant off to a pretty good start here in the CS department. Pango with 0 CS.
Toss, not gonna happen.
Yeah, this is the, I think the worry of this Luna lane is just how much pressure the Abaddon Shaman can do. And they even got a side pull off. This is going to really cripple their lane, since this Radiant creep wave is going to be largely denied with the Hellbear Smasher clapping away. Battle for the last hit.
Yeah, easy.
I thought it was going to go for the uphill right click.
You can't risk that.
No, it's a lot of mana.
You can do it for the yellow one. That's fine. You can do it for whatever potato, whatever the name was.
Tomato and potato.
Yeah, that's the one. Even though I always thought it was like ketchup and mustard. Oh. That one makes more sense to me.
That carried over into Dota Underlord.
It did, yeah.
And that started...
One of the rounds.
Yeah. I don't know which Dota caster started, but that was a Dota caster who started that one. I feel like it was like a Lysander thing or something.
Oh, okay.
Or a Cyclops. That would be my guess. And it is now printed in stone in the wonderful game that is Dota Underlord.
Some aggression here from Fnatic up top. ILTW trying to turn it back around and gets onto Ice Ice Ice. Salve immediately canceled. He's going down here, it looks like. No, gets the shield off. They pop it quickly. Gets the denied. DJ gets the first blood.
He barely got level 3.
Play there.
Just there. Wow.
And he... Normally you don't even skill miscoil until like way later on. We've seen a lot of these Abaddons go like 0-2-2, but because of that scenario, it was the perfect
Jabs
play.
is going to go down in the bottom lane. No, sticks up. Barely surviving. A lot of pressure on him, though. Yeah, looks like they're actually farming the Ench here. And so Pango just supporting the lane.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so I wonder if this is like a change-up from...
Maybe just like laning against the Gyrocopter. It's pretty hard to go in for last hits. It's double ranged. But so far that Gyro's having a good time.
Shackles and Misha. They're going to change target. ILTW the new one. And DJ goes down. As Ice 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 could also be in some trouble himself if he's not careful. Another Frost Blast. But don't even need it. That's
very interesting. I did not think that was the lane that was going to go down in Dire's favor.
The downside to getting that point of miscoil is like your aphotic shield is, you know, a 2-second longer cooldown, which in that particular case, I think he would have had another one in that fight. So normally you don't see the early point in heal unless like you're unable to farm and just kind of sacking the lane.
I guess IOTW going for a second point in Luna Blessing, just giving all that bonus damage to himself and Misha basically. Extra stats, good stuff.
Yeah, normally I see this synergy specifically with strength heroes.
Yes. But that's more from the support role. I guess as a carry, you're not normally picking strength 5 positions.
Yeah, I guess that's true. As 23 Savage goes down to Immersion in the bot lane.
This Luna Lich Lane is working out surprisingly well. Yeah. They're going to get the bounty rune here. And as I say that, could be in trouble. Shackle's coming through, and one more hit will do the trick, so I guess I jinxed him.
Yeah, got the bounty rune at least, but not the ideal scenario going down there.
I'm just curious how DJ's is he gonna be farming more than Ice? Because I feel like a farmed Shaman's gonna be more useful than a farmed Abaddon in this game.
Ice will be like, dude,
usually
have you seen my Midas Radiance Abaddon? Like, come on.
Usually in the mid game, DJ tends to get a lot more farm.
Right.
It's not unusual for him to end up with more net worth than Ice come late game.
His 4th-position Shaman especially will often be top 4, top 5 net worth in the game.
Exactly. And so with the lane going this poorly, it kind of begs the question that are they going to lean more on like early game dominance of an Abaddon, or are they just going to go with the battle plan, which is like get this Shaman super farmed, we're going to push very fast.
I don't know. What do you think?
So far, it does not look like it's going in their favor. Ice is getting abused yet again in this top lane, and the Luna Lich lane is proving to be far more competitive than I imagined.
I mean, at this point, the kills have swung this lane into Team Spirit's favor. I mean, they've got the level 4 Luna with Bracer, Wraithband, and Wand. Lich also has a Wand, so they have all that extra sustain for their lane.
How do you guys feel about not getting any points in the glaives and just really focusing here on the lane?
I think this is the build we were kind of seeing, where you get 2 points in the beam, and then now
you'll max the
glaives. But if they're going to keep playing the lane, we may see a 3rd point in the passive or Lucent Beam.
Ultimately, it comes down to when she feels like jungling. There aren't any stacks being made for her, so it's not like she's in any rush to get high points in glaives. But if you are afraid that you're going to start getting dived, then you're better off just moving out of the lane as quickly as possible.
So Urgon in the mid lane. Big commitment here with Immersion. They didn't quite have the damage to get the kill. And now the TP in from Jabs looking to turn this around. Urgon going to get clipped by that torrent. Should be okay. Immersion ends up TPing up to the top lane where ILTW keeps the pressure up onto DJ. Heal comes through. Shield as well, but just instantly melted. Immersion coming in. Not needed for that kill. God, they are just working the Shaman Abaddon lane at this point. Level 5 Lich.
Not just as a support, but Luna as a core with the aura. It's just so good to be laning with. Lich has all this extra mana to play with, can just throw more spells. Leveling up the Frost Blast for this lane.
Here comes the big smoke rotation. DJ and Moon heading towards top. Fnatic want to salvage this top lane, get the Luna before she hits level 6.
She has bonus night vision, so she
and the smoke breaks, and Misha is sitting there. They still get the Hex off on ILTW running in. They don't have the follow-up, though. Misha, good job there interrupting that with the Sinister Gaze, but they managed to pull Luna back in. In from the rear comes Immersion. Too late, but Urgon maybe just what the doctor ordered. Gets the Ice kill. Now perhaps going to find the Misha kill as well. Tidebringer cooling down. Gets the cleave. Misha and Dire Straits here. Turns around, though, with the slow. The next cleave just out of range, it looks like. And now Moon could be in trouble. Tiny combo is available. Heads to the right. Tries to get out of there, but the tree throw is online again. Nice shackle. Everybody joining this top lane. An endless fight continues as they chase all the way back to the Radiant Tier 1. Abaddon in danger. Doesn't have his borrowed time yet. Has the stick charges. The tree toss not quite enough. And all the while, Gyro level 6 with the TP scroll, but he's just sitting mid.
Yeah,
not sure if that just cooled down or just wanted to focus on the tower damage, but you'd think a call down would be pretty sweet there.
Also surprising to find him mid. Like, I thought.
He left bot altogether. I would have understood if he stuck around bot to make sure the Enchantress can't take his tower, but he saw free farm mid because Kunko left and then Tiny left, so why not get a little bit of.
I think just at that point where laning against a level 7 Enchantress is just not really possible, so Jabs is just sitting there.
Let Jabs suffer.
Yeah, just throw Splinter Blast. Don't let Ench hit you with any impetuses.
Impetuses? What's the official plural?
I do like impeti.
I just made that up. I have no idea if that's a real thing.
Makes sense.
It's canon now. Yeah.
Spirit? Okay, it's that easy. Nice. Yeah. Spirit on the smoke, but Fnatic come in numbers to break this. The call down comes through. Well placed, going to connect on 2. Urgon pulled back into the boat and to the bottom of the sea he shall go, it looks. Fnatic, just huge commitment. Still no points in the Eclipse. ILTW
DJ
is opting for the Moonglaves. They will clean up a little bit, though. Get that Shaman kill. They're going to look for Moon as well. He still holding on to the Torrent here. In comes the Pango, trying to force the Abaddon back. Gostic throwing out the Imp Eye.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Moon will be just fine. So, I mean, Fnatic are, sending the whole squad to these fights, and Spirit wanting to answer them back.
Yeah, with the Kunkka, you're always willing to take fights as frequently as possible. At least this time 23 Savage showed up. I do think that his presence was necessary for them to win that Rune challenge. But they didn't get any core kills. Like ILTW, Luna was just like, man, I really wish I had Eclipse right now, but it's only like 2 points of Lucent Beam, so whatever.
This is the Luna build we've been seeing. You just only get the 2 points in Lucent for the lane, and then go back to max your glaives first.
Let the other heroes gank.
The dude maxed out Lunar Blessing, though, so he's still wanting to cooperate with other people in his lane. But
Gostic being pursued here up top. Ice. A couple seconds here for the borrowed time. Ward trap on Immersion, but he hops right out still, though. Boat coming through. Crashes, connects, and will get the kill. Nobody can really stand against Gostic too easily. With the heal going, he'll be absolutely fine. Has the double bracers, treads, and cloak. A very tanky Ench. He's getting to a good damage done on Moon here. Now going to start farming up these wards.
So what pick was Kunkka again, Gods?
10th pick.
He's 10th pick.
Yeah.
And did we see him at all yesterday?
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
So what the hell's going on? Because this hero looks really good still.
He's a good hero.
I'm confused why everyone has seemed to have forgotten about him in at least day 1 of group stage, but Moon is making a strong case for this hero.
Definitely a beatable hero, but it's just never bad to have a Kunkka mid, it feels like. There aren't really bad mid matchups, and you're always getting value out of the rotations, as we've seen this game. That's been a big part of Fnatic keeping it close, because that top lane was a disaster until Kunkka showed up. Speaking of top lane, they finally bring down this pesky Enchantress.
That's a big kill. She was the highest net worth hero.
She was a little too much in that I'm an invincible Ench, I'm level 8.
Ooh, I'm Ench, nobody can kill me, I'm so great.
Until magic damage rolls in, Rocket Barrage plus the Shackles, your Untouchable's not going to matter.
Ench players. Here comes Paragon, looking for Moon, chuck him up and down. In comes the Pango ultimate, hopping through, beautiful placement there, and Ice doesn't have his borrowed time. He's going to get rolled over too. Rolling Thunder gets some nice work out for Spirit, and 9-7 the score. They're going to start taking this tower mid as well.
Jabs.
Oh,
Doesn't
Tiny.
Oh, he still gets a kill?
Tiny just punching him down.
They still want to defend us.
Just the counter tips. They're like, you want to tip me, I'll tip you back, bro.
Just took the plus 30 damage talent in time to kill his own friend.
I thought he was going to maybe barely live. Wyvern did not have the Splinter Blast to follow up the Winter's Curse for some extra damage, but gets the kill.
Straight up call down, literally no damage. But the boat and the torrent and the cleave from another creep.
They need a little more magic damage. That is not enough.
Don't be mad.
It is a max nature's attendance.
Yeah.
Ergon hunting for 23 Savage gets chucked into Gostic. If Lich can just get the Frost Blast up, but he can't. The Torrent comes through, creeps finish him off. And 23 Savage desperately trying to scramble back to safety. Jabs there in position to block him off. DJ with the ward trap coming through hot is Immersion, though. Good Rolling Thunder, locking down. The Shaman gets 3 hits with it. Will secure the kill. 23 Savage still running somehow. The homie missile is going to keep Ergon away. He will end up surviving, and Jabs is going to have his ultimate soon, but he may pay the price. Avalanche, toss. See you later, alligator.
He died for a good cause. He kept 23 Savage alive for so long. Landed in the Arctic Burn to block off the Tiny, and then cold embraced him right underneath the tower.
Spirit is looking kind of OG-esque here, just like
very
face
aggressive.
rush, constantly diving, all up in your face. Meanwhile, Anna or ILTW just chilling and farming. Playing the jungle game.
That's not an IO.
He's still a bit confused about the skill build. Got a 3rd point in Lucent Beam before maxing the glaive.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen this build before, actually.
Because the glaives go from 3 to 6. And he instead decides, I need an extra 75 damage on my Lucent Beam.
Well,
which he doesn't have a clip with.
He's about to hit level 12, though.
Yeah.
So
but wait, actually, but then you would take it at 11 and 12 if you were trying to get level 2 of your ult.
He hasn't used his
I don't know what his plan is.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see where he puts that 11th skill point. Or 12th, even 12th now. He's got 2 skill points. Right?
Oh, he takes Eclipse. Okay.
Going back.
Interesting.
Seems like it's part of the overall, like, we want to fight and be aggressive right now. So, was originally maybe thinking he'd just play the farm game, but perhaps the team has other ideas. Spirit looking to go again, perhaps. Fnatic.
I mean, yeah, the team does have other ideas, but he is not joining them.
Avalanche going to connect on 2, coming through with immersion, gets off a very nice swashbuckle, and DJ will melt. Ice, he's in late. X, Torrent, going to prevent this Ench chase, and Misha just slithers away, and now Moon's got to retreat as well. Getting slowed down, has to chuck out the boat defensively. Immersion comes in from the side. Urgon there as well with the Frost Shield. You're not going anywhere. Gets another pickoff. Fnatic are in shambles now.
Spirit's just running at him, and running at him is 4. The fact that ILTW is just free farming all this is going on is really concerning.
And Gnostic's solution to Enchantress's issues is why not build a hood and 2 bracers? If you think you can beat me, you think you can kill me with magic damage, I have got another thing coming for you. So he is so tanky between that and Nature's Attendance. And of course Untouchable.
They've been so aggressive, they haven't even bothered to grab that bounty rune bottom. 16.5 minutes into the game. Still 15-minute bounty runes out there. Why get bounty runes when you could just get kills?
Yeah. It's gold one way or the other. Smoke up. And Urgon, I believe this should be the Blink Dagger reveal.
God, they're if they were strong already, imagine them with a level 2 Eclipse. Yeah. This is horrifying for Fnatic.
Or maxed out Lunar Blessing. All these heroes are going to be so much more capable of dealing damage now. Roll starts.
Rolling on in is going to catch out first the Kunkka, but a nice curse interrupts that combo. Japs, though, caught in the rear, and Urgon finishes him off with ease. They're going to now isolate Moon, converge on him with 4. The X to try and get himself back to safety, but Urgon on the case. Moon is jammed back into the grave. And Fnatic have just given up on fighting. DJ split pushing bottom. Ice is farming top. They have essentially forfeited this mid tower.
It seems like a recurring theme in some of these Fnatic games where they just kind of fumbled some mid-game team fights and then end up just resorting to split push.
Look at the stack that's getting stolen out. Was that a triple stack, I believe?
Kunkka was torrenting that for giggles, and then Luna strolls in. I bet you do.
All right, well, now he's got the max glaives, guys, so it's a short window where he didn't have it.
I mean, he's only got 1 more skill point up in the air, so...
He could get the talent at 15.
He could the talent, that's true. That's a fair point.
Talent or the skill. Luna does not have the best level 15 talent. So, I mean, movement speed is all right, but...
You don't go for the all-in nuker Luna?
Oh, you can. I
think
the Ag Doctrine refresher.
I think the Lucent Beam, it's a 2-second Lucent Beam cooldown. It's pretty insane.
And yeah, the cast range challenge is 400. I'm telling you. You can place wards from like the stairs near the jungle to the enemy high ground. It's bananas.
And when you have good frontliners, like, it just helps them stay caught up, you know, so Urgon, Immersion can find those next heroes. Speaking of the next heroes, it's Ice, perhaps. Sinister Gaze is ready.
Yeah, Misha doesn't really have any
Lich gonna have your mana.
Oh, man, this is sneak sentry. I respect that. Even if he was TPing, you would have been able to cancel it.
100 gold, dude.
What are we talking about? Think about the potential.
Just runs right by.
Twitch clip
Immersion thinks he can get out scot-free. The instant borrow time, perhaps a bit too early, because now they can just look to go on him here. Rolling Thunder committed, bouncing right off of the ward hill. And Ice goes down in a volley of quick imps. Yeah. They do have wards up again for DJ, and he might go for a tier 2, but things are looking rather shaky for Fnatic. 17-9 the score.
I don't know why he popped borrowed time like that, because Avalanche is still going to stun you, because it's multiple instances.
DJ did drop the wards, but I don't think he saw the Lich TP until late, because he may be reconsidering this one.
Yeah, between the Glyph and the Frost Shield, not much damage dealt for an entire ward cooldown. Now they need to defend.
Jabs with the curse, trying to punish Gostic here, and he gets shredded up by his Luna. Very nice of them. Maybe this is the turnaround. Boat coming through. Luna left on an island. She too will drop. Jabs was actually TPing out, and then ends up seeing an opportunity to go for the curse there. I guess the Untouchable does not work when your allies are hitting you.
Yeah, it doesn't pass.
The Luna just destroyed him there.
They just killed 2 cores out of nowhere.
That's a sick play.
Like, that's an insane amount of gold and space for Fnatic in a game that has completely fallen apart for them over the last 5 minutes, and they just get 2 freebies.
And a net worth advantage. Or no, not yet. Still narrowly at 2K, but a lot of big items completed. Aetherland's now freshly completed for the Shadow Shaman. Blink Dagger completed for the Winter Wyvern.
Can Fnatic turn it around now? They do have a big team fight. You know, they've got solid late game here.
Yep.
Still, though, trailing net worth.
Jarags is online, so 23 Savage farm a whole lot faster now.
And he's going to go for the BKB next as opposed to a Maelstrom or something like that.
Ergon limping down bottom. DJ is in the neighborhood with a Blink Dagger, though. He's going to blink out.
Yeah, Spirit has to be much more careful. After giving up the Enchantress and the Luna before Shaman gets that Blink Aetherlands.
They want to go on ILTW, but Emergent is sitting behind him with the BKB coming out. ILTW rushes forward, gets onto Jab, starts to work on him with those glaives, quickly chewing through him, secures the kill.
What a BKB delivery that was.
Shredded. They're still holding on to this tier 1 mid for Spirit. Pretty impressive against the Shadow Shaman of DJ, I have to say.
Yeah, I think that's why DJ's been opting to push the sidelines. If someone wants to react to it, he wants to draw them really far away from the map.
Well, into the Roshan pit for Spirit. Can Fnatic contest this? They don't have the Winter's Curse.
There's no Luna BKB.
They don't have the boat for 15, so it should be up actually in time for the fight.
They can just throw Torrents to delay it and get themselves in there. That would be huge.
It's kind of scary walking in the pit, though. You got to deal with the clips. You got to deal with Chain Frost.
Boats back up. They have Winter Wyvern. It's even without the Winter's Curse, it's still a lot of AoE damage from Splinter Blast. And
Gossick just face checks high ground.
They're going to find Ice 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 in the middle of their backlines. It's Gostick, as you said, just charging forward. Tiny with the Blink Dagger, but not able to find the initiation. The BKB back up, and ILTW rushes in. He gets Ward Trapped, though. This could be trouble. He's got to fight his way out of this. Going in deep as the Pango juke so far. Able to interrupt those shackles, though, and Immersion has to roll back to safety. Now the Chain Frost coming through, but a beautiful retreat. Fnatic mostly getting out clean, only losing the Abaddon. Quick blink away. DJ's out, too, and well, as I say, beautiful. They do lose Moon as well. Immersion there on cleanup duty. Now Jab's coming in with the curse. Gonna kill off that edge, probably. Yes, sirree, they do. They pay with the third hero, though, so the Roche looks to be all spirits.
Yeah, it's probably low enough. They don't have the Ench to tank it, but Tiny should be more than enough.
Yeah, and with Wyvern both spending the curse and being dead, there's really nothing you need to be worried about in the pit.
We're seeing the playmaking potential of the, we talk about this Fnatic team being this superstar lineup. Jabs is trying to be that flashy 5. DJ's trying to be a flashy 4, but their team play is just not really there.
We have to see if they're ever going to feel like initiating a fight, because it seems like so far every single time Fnatic are doing something, aside from the early game whenever Moon was determining the pace with X Torrents, now it kind of seems like Spirit are just in the area and either they decide to take a fight or they decide to retreat. Fnatic are not really forcing any fights, it seems.
Is there something that opens this game up for Fnatic? They're going to smoke now, try to make a play.
And these double BKBs will help a lot because it just means your frontline cores don't have to worry about Eclipse as much, which is such a large amount of damage.
Blink Hex, you mentioned DJ. He's going to find Ergon coming through with the boat. Moon is there for the follow-up. 23 Savage joins the party. They get a huge kill. Unstoppable streak onto Moon. That's the Mithril Hammer. Closing on the BKB. So he did opt for the Spirit Vessel to counter the Ench, I suppose.
Yeah.
But not a very common Kunkka pick.
That is surprising, especially for a mid Kunkka. That's very surprising, but I think it was the right call.
Yeah, they're going very utility focused. Ice Ice Ice, no Midases, no Radiance. He's gone Pipe. Vlad, so super team fight focused on him. Same on the Kunkka mid. Even the Gyro, just the standard, Ags BKB. So Fnatic feeling the pressure to be able to take these fights.
Grand Theft Bounty Rune.
Whoa.
DJ with the blink in. See you later. Small little incremental advantages.
That's 3 bounty runes there. Now just a 1k gold lead, so Fnatic have kind of clawed their way back in terms of the financial state of this game, at least. And Gyro keeping up with the Luna in terms of farm.
So, looks like we might be headed late here. Still Tier 2 standing. Tier 1, in fact, standing mid. Is there a favored lineup for you guys?
Kind of Fnatic, but not by much, I would say. I think it really does come down to the execution, and we've seen Fnatic a bit shaky there, but heroes like Enchantress fall off a lot in that late game in terms of being like a core. I think as a support, you're like suddenly dealing damage, but... Oh, Ench mid.
Immersion might be in trouble here top. And
yeah,
in the meanwhile, mid lane, Gostic in so deep. Looks to be punished here. Fnatic will get the pick off. They were trying to gank the Pango in the meanwhile, but he was able to Rolling Thunder away to safety.
They're considering going in for more, but that's an
MDL.
Aegis
He's
Luna.
trying to fight 3v5 here. He does have the Aegis, he does have the BKB, and they do have a buyback at the end. She's going to use it now. Back into the fight mid. Fnatic, do they back out? No, they keep on fighting. Gostic joins the party. They're going to have the BKB Eclipse available, but there's a creep wave arriving at exactly the wrong moment. Lucent Beam clips the Gyro, rips off his wings, and throws him back to the fountain. Out for 70 now. Moon on the run, but ILTW just a bit too fast, trying to catch him with the Lucent Beam. Good slow coming in from Immersion. The Glaives are bouncing over to the neutrals. Then they get the Shield Crash follow-up. The Imps cleaning up the kill. So I think a 2 for 2 with a buyback plus an Aegis there.
Fnatic got a little bit ahead of themselves. If they had the Kunkka BKB also, then that would have been a pretty confident fight in Fnatic's favor.
You could see that when the Ench pulled back, Gyro, 23 Savage, was like, I'm ready to run. But the rest of his team were like, no, we keep fighting. And so he then was like, well, I guess I keep fighting, because he turned around after he wanted to run. And he was the one making the correct call there. They should not have stuck around once Ench pulled back.
It was actually three heroes and the buyback and the Aegis. So honestly, it seems like Fnatic won that one. All things considered. Like, Spirit are not taking objectives yet.
Yep.
Heroes will be back up in time. And you got rid of the Aegis. But now there's a butterfly on Luna.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that. Like, Team Spirit, they were under no obligation to do anything with that Aegis. They picked it up, they just want to keep the Luna safe. She doesn't die after the Aegis goes down. Meanwhile, you killed both of Fnatic's cores, the Gyro and the Kunkka, and that's Gyro's 10-second BKB that was spent on that fight. And now Luna has her 10-second BKB available. Or, oh, never mind.
No, she's
if they back off when Ench buys back and don't lose anyone, then yeah, Fnatic are super happy with what they've achieved. But they just all in to take out an Aegis that was going to expire in what, about 30 seconds from now, anyways. But we'll see. They're progressing towards their late game items. DJ doing his greedy full position thing. The BKB, always a crazy good item if there's nothing to cancel the Shackles BKB.
Feels really awkward to have 3 of your heroes be basically tied in net worth. It's just the Gyro who's ahead. The rest of the Fnatic team are just kind of middling around the same area. Which ultimately means that this Kunkka has fallen far behind because he was the mid laner.
Yeah, I don't think the Shaman being up there with the Abaddon is a bad
that's not too
scenario for Fnatic.
But Kunkka being down there, that's what's questionable.
Yeah. Same time, Kunkka is still ahead of the Tiny, so it's kind of, I think, the same can be said for Team Spirit a bit, where they've been very active with Urgon's Tiny. He's 8-3-6, played a good game, but he's only got 130-ish CS.
Fnatic journeying to this top lane, seeing Gostic there. They've been able to kill him a few times. No dire vision of this, and he keeps on farming the lane. Lobs out an Impetus on Ice Ice Ice, who retreats for now. They're not traveling with Moon and his BKB on the Kunkka, though. He's holding position towards the mid lane. And Spirit also sitting back for the time being. So they're very content to farm. It feels like they believe strongly in their late game potential.
Surprised that they didn't go on that Enchantress. She was right underneath the tower. If you manage to get a ward trap, you get extra value if he's able to push with that as well. But they did not see where the rest of Spirit were, I guess, and did not want to force a fight if they don't have the information.
Spirit gonna smoke now. They're without the Ench, but they're gonna run right into Moon potentially. Could be in danger here. They get the ward down. He's gonna back off to the safe confines of his jungle, and Spirit just park on the high ground, waiting for someone to show themselves. If not, they'll take the tower. There's no glyph. Don't think this is defensible for Fnatic. In fact, you see a smoke. They're heading towards the bounty ruins.
Yeah, looks like Spirit were thinking they might be able to find a pick-off around the bounty rune timing.
Luna's closing on Satanic. Once she gets that, you need an impeccable chain stun to kill her off. And with an Aegis, it's not likely to happen. So Spirit will wait. Just farm this top side of the map, try to maybe get a tier 2 top before the next Roche.
Spirit's draft struggles more against these BKBs. They don't really have any good answers to it, whereas Fnatic, they have got Winter's Curse and the Shadow Shaman, who doesn't pierce BKBs, but the long-range Hex Shackles initiation often catches people before they can pop BKB.
Their only real answer is like Luna right-clicks, basically. And if you curse her, she's not doing that.
It doesn't seem like Fnatic can end the fights quick enough, though, under the span of their BKB. And now 23-7 has to pop his just to take a tower.
Getting clubbed and will TP out. Meanwhile, Moon also on the run. That's not how you want to be using your BKBs. Rolling Thunder. Oh, no. Kunkka going to make it.
He's going to heal on. Ench has been cursed mid, but will survive.
Still Spirit controlling the map, keeping the pressure up, forcing Fnatic to run away.
Yeah,
it's all up to DJ to split push here.
Yeah, Winter's Curse down. Are they actually going to go high ground with no Winter's Curse?
They're painting it. What can Fnatic do about this? No Gyro BKB either. Their team fight quite lacking. Spirit see opportunity here. Waves are bouncing. And ILTW is taking this tower down rather rapidly. They get the Hex, they get the Ward Trap. Foe coming through. BKB is there, though. They get the Greaves off. Try to turn this fight around. The Luna's dangerously low, though. Good Rolling Thunder to keep Fnatic at bay, and Spirit sounds the retreat alarm. BKBs were thrown out left, right, and center. They might lose a fleeing Enchantress, though, as she gets shackled from distance, controlled by the Rocket Barrage, and punished. So good hold by Fnatic. Roche not quite
late
up
spawn.
Yet, though.
Yeah, it would have favored them if it could have spawned right away. Still, I mean, they weren't able to successfully take the tier 3, so ultimately not worth it for Spirit. But they're whittling down the BKB charges on Fnatic, and that means that Eclipse is going to be useful again.
If Luna has Satanic that fight, it is a totally different fight. She just BKBs, walks in with Satanic, and starts shredding her team.
You baited the bounty rune. You got the Hex.
Caught out with the shackles. Is anybody in range? No siree. Lich will let him go.
That was kind of cool. DJ saw a bounty rune, which has been there for like 2 minutes, didn't pick it up.
Hunting Misha. That forces the Pango buyback. And Fnatic this time are in retreat mode.
Yep.
ILTW, though, completed the Satanic.
That means no buyback on Luna, though, so there's a potential big downside for this item pickup as well.
She's dangerously far in here. Gotta respect DJ, who gets off the shackles, gets off the Hex, but the Rolling Thunder to counter this. He's not going for the Shaman, though. He's got a BKB now. They're gonna lose the Luna here. No Satanic. It's bouncing. The Glaives keep him in fighting shape, but he's not actually killing heroes off very quickly. Ice stays onto it, but as these BKBs end, the Eclipse pain can commence. Shield crash into the pit. Luna, though, controlled again and will be finished off. Do they have the backup damage without her? Chain Frost already committed for this fight. Fnatic are just outlasting Team Spirit. Buyback from the Shaman. They sense blood in the water here. Immersion gonna fall. The shackles are there. Bringing down Ergon. He too will drop.
I mean, this is why you give DJ Farm and Shadow
Shaman. Let's go.
The Lich is doing some wonders. That's the only reason Luna survives to get Satanic off is because of that Lich Ice Armor. So there is a defensive play available when that happens, but I mean, DJ just got so much lockdown off in that fight. Got a second Hex on the Luna as well when she did end up dying.
They were not expecting the Shaman BKB, I don't think.
They had it during the high ground fight.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had just completed
it
before that fight.
It's pretty odd the Luna would be so aggressive.
I mean,
in that
you walk in with stats resistance, you're like, how long could a shackle really last? Except it's like a 6-second long disable. So
plus the Hex.
Plus the Hex, exactly. Oh, no,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
6 seconds after the reduction, maybe.
And all of a sudden, it is Fnatic going high ground, and they've got the Shaman wards with the Abad, and this team pushes extremely fast. Tier 3 melting, likely to lose a full lane of racks here, it seems. No buybacks to be seen. Jabs is all chill. At least he says he is. I'm not sure if he's feeling that way. This has been a tense game for Fnatic. But they are now in control.
And range Rex will go down to the wards as well.
And perhaps a Roche too, though there is an edge creep here to scout this. No Eclipse for 40.
DJ's been found by the Shrine, but he'll BKB TP out.
Ergon just getting a jump on his farm game here.
He's just showing off his Aghanim Scepter a little bit. The DJ was hoping to stick around to steal those bounty runes, but he was alone.
So honestly, his BKB timing is kind of important. He's not going to have the BKB for his entire shackles, so...
Yeah, that 5-second Shadow Shaman BKB is definitely...
Normally you might say you don't need the whole duration, but versus Luna with Satanic...
Yeah, exactly.
You might. We'll see. Team Spirit into the pit. Fnatic pushing out the mid lane with Kunkka. Ice, Ice, Ice.
This is balls
out in front.
They know there's no Shaman BKB. That's partly why they want to do this.
Trying to force the issue here at the pit. ILTW. Good damage on this Roche, down to about half HP.
Winner's curse.
They've got an X, they've got a boat, they've got a curse. You got to respect the team fight of Fnatic here.
Because with the torrent, they can just spam torrents. If they find someone, they can just curse with the torrent vision.
I'm absolutely not convinced it's reason alone to go for Roshan. Oh, there's no Shaman BKB. Let's go Roche. There is plenty of other tools for Fnatic to win a fight with. And now Shaman will have BKB back.
Well, Spirit softened it up, and now Fnatic might want to take it. They're poking Ice Ice Ice's head in there, perhaps just baiting.
Like these teams aren't sure who's stronger and can actually take Roche.
Well, tree toss. Roshan getting beaten from all directions. They do get the Torrent here with the homie missile into ILTW. Does not want to blow his BKB with the status resistance.
We're not going to see DJ be as aggressive with his buyback on cooldown now. He can't just afford to go blinking in and risk just dying to the Tiny's physical damage with the Aghanim Scepter can blow up a BKB Shadow Shaman. And I think the call from Spirit is going to be right-click down Shaman during the BKB. Impetus and Tiny Tree Volley is plenty of damage that pierces spell immunity.
What they would really like is this Ghostic BKB. Still does not have it here, 37 minutes in.
Yeah, that'll make a big difference.
Because then he can go in first. He can try and like force Fnatic to blow cooldowns on him and Luna follow up. But without the BKB, we've seen he is very vulnerable. So the standoff continues. Both teams trying to farm. Any crucial item pickups that you guys see on the horizon?
Gyro's close to Satanic, but also wants buyback, I feel, so I don't even know if you want to buy it.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that's... stun now. Please. Please, someone stun me. I activated my BKB for nothing.
Not scouted, though, by the Dire.
Yeah.
So Fnatic are very close to a couple new big items. The Satanic, the AC on Kunkka. But it's always this late-game question. Are they worth sacrificing not having buyback for?
Not if Roche is up. I think if Roche is down, then what? Okay. Well, he cashes out on the AC.
You dare question the Lord Admiral himself.
Let's go for it.
Here comes the Shaman Trap. Catches out Ghostic. Good interruption there by Immersion, but not enough. They instantly lose their edge. Dead for 70. And you do not want to be buying back now, but I suppose you have no choice. TP's to the top.
Man, and 23 Savage buys the Satanic. They are all in on this.
Well, they're going to clean up the wards here. That's the good news. So there won't be wards for the round 2 of the team fight, but there might be no Immersion either. As ILTW goes in, they lose their Pango. No Rolling Thunder, no buyback for this team fight. Still, Fnatic are kind of dangerously low. In comes the Lich Chain Frost. It's a beaut, somehow connecting on everybody. Borrow time. Gyrocopter able to stay alive with the Abaddon. ILTW has to clean up all by his lonesome. Fnatic are just too tanky with the AC, the Vlads, the Solar Crest, the Kunkka boat. Team Spirit just can't get through all that armor, all that damage, resistance, and healing.
Fnatic use a lot of big cooldowns and BKBs, but if they can reset here, they're in a fantastic position with these buybacks being used. They're just winning this Roche standoff, and it looks like they're the ones who are going to get themselves inside the pit.
They seem to win the war of attrition. That's the big thing.
Spirit got a little, I don't know, they blinked first. So Pango ended up in the river during, I guess, what must have been dewarding. And in the meanwhile, Tiny Ergon was trying to get in position to go around behind DJ and be able to get him with a full tree volley. Pango ends up dying in the river, and then Tiny's like, I guess we have to fight now. So he just tree volleys onto the Abaddon, and the Shaman is just free to do whatever. Luna has to crawl up the middle of the river instead of fighting near the Roche pit.
Tiny doesn't really seem like he's having any impact in these team fights. His net worth is still about the same it was, 10, 15 minutes ago, it seems. Finally completed the Ags, but it's pretty hard to use Ags when Fnatic just run away.
Yeah.
They don't have some sort of AoE control. I guess Rolling Thunder, but it's not really a reliable stun like an RP or Ravage. Centaur or something like that.
And just doesn't have the items to really chunk away at people. Normally this 40 minutes Tiny with Ags, you have a damage item as well.
Yeah, like a Daedalus, but he's not there.
But I mean, more than anything, Fnatic just getting free kills. Like first the Enchantress, who buys back, then the Pango. Pango doesn't use a spell. He doesn't have buyback. So Fnatic.
Abs good grab here, catching out Ergon. They're going to curse him, control him, hex him. Then the Stretch Armstrong shackles and slowly but surely work down the Tiny. The team did pain him. Lich was saying, I don't think that's where you should be right now, but it was already too late.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another freebie. 100 seconds. Okay, that's a rapier on Luna.
I saw he had it queued up in his quick buy earlier, but I didn't know if he was serious. Maybe they need it. They did not seem like they have enough damage in these fights.
Sold something. Sold the drums, I guess, was it? Or was it another item I'm forgetting she had?
I think it was drums.
This is pretty all-in play. Level 25 as well gets that lifesteal talent, but there is so much lockdown. I don't know how well this rapier is going to work unless his team can cover him.
Only a 5-second BKB now.
Yeah. He's relying on his team to...
Oh, DJ!
No, my rapier! Not like this. He gets it off, though. Glaives come through. 23 Savage has to back away, but ILTW without the BKB going to be hard-pressed to fight in round 2 of this engagement. They have a Blink Hex. They have a Shackle as well, and buildings are collapsing. They save the rapier, but at what cost?
Friggin' Pango gets a bash on DJ, otherwise Luna would have been certified dead. Blink in from Jabs, but he's just chilling. I can't believe DJ had such quick reflexes, though. Like, Luna just barely showed herself out of that tree, and DJ was all over her.
Yeah, DJ has been making big plays this game. Well, you mentioned, he likes to take over games.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad that they gave him the farm priority.
Here comes the one last fight. Can Team Spirit make it work? They've got the Eclipse coming through. 23 Savage, though, still with the Aegis. He can afford to play aggressive. They're going to glimmer up. ILTW stands his ground for now, but starting to drop pretty low here. The boat's coming through. The Shackles as well. Looking to steal that rapier, and they will grab it. It goes to DJ.
Shaman. Yeah, he deserves it.
Give this man a kill, too. Quick, tiny beatdown on the Ench. It's a 6v4.
Guys, I can't shackle. I need to right-click people. What are you talking about?
Well, you called it with the quick fingers. He's ready to end this game with a rapier.
Gyro was trying to pick it up.
I don't know how accurate this net worth is going to be whenever we see Shaman at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be top of the net worth.
Yeah, but I think that they may be slightly inflated.
Second on the team.
Okay. Second on the team.
More than anyone on Spirit, though. He's more farm than the Luna guys. How amazing.
Well,
imagine that.
Very clear who, overperformed this game.
Even Rapier notwithstanding, I think DJ was by far the standout of that game. Jabs also did a great job on the Wyvern, making it very difficult for ILTW and honestly the entirety of Spirit to ever really get solid team fights. The Aetherlens Blink Dagger was enough.
He did almost as much hero damage as the Kunkka.
Yeah.
Like, as a Shaman. That just shows you how good the ward traps were all game long.
Yeah. I do still feel it was a very unconvincing Fnatic win.
Yes.
Like, I'm not sold on this team yet. They've got the potential, but they need to shore up a lot of their early to mid game plays. Like that top lane should have gone way better for them against the Luna. They DJ Ice lane, not what it normally is, and they just didn't. They don't look like a team yet, but we'll see. It's their first major of the season. This is them still trying to gel. It is not the same Fnatic roster as last season. So.
Yeah, it's also
a lot of slop,
major, though.
Yeah,
I have higher expectations. And Spirit, I think, despite having a peculiar draft, I was convinced by all the heroes. I had no issues with like the Pango. He didn't get as many Rolling Thunder big plays as I think he wanted to, but again, you need to be very concerned with Winter Wyvern, the BKB piercing disable to deal with.
He did in the mid game. Yeah, the late game got hard with like Glimmer Cape, Blink on Wyvern.
Exactly.
I think the bigger issue was the pickoffs. Like they just kept on losing heroes at the start of fights, and that is the power of the Kunkka. I think most of those were started by an X-Torrent or later on in the game DJ with just like the Shackle BKB surprise.
I think Spirit kind of threw this game. I mean, that's like one of those kind of extreme words that gets thrown around a bit.
Soft throw.
Yeah,
like
but
slight throw.
They had complete control of the map. It was that I think it started when they had the 2 cores get picked off top lane, the Ench and the Winter's Curse from jabs in the trees.
Yeah.
Like, that alone didn't turn the game, but that was like...
I think that was keeping the pace of Fnatic's mistakes, though. So I think the game was level at that point, and then ultimately they lost the Roche exchange.
Yeah, there was just like, it just felt like pickoff after pickoff, whether it was the X, the Winter Wyvern ultimate, the Shadow Shaman. You're versing a team with huge pickoff potential, but you still got to avoid some of those.
All right, game 1 in the books here. Fnatic, a shaky win, but a win nonetheless. They lead 1-0. Guys, don't forget Group A action happening simultaneously over at twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit2 with BComp and Lizard. Check out Pandas versus Unknown, but we'll be back for game 2 of Fnatic versus Spirit after this.